In many ways, your 40s can be the best years of your life. You've established yourself in your career, you've made some strong friendships, and have a pretty good sense of what you want out of life and how to get it. But it's also a time of reflection, and with reflection comes some regrets. In this video, I am sharing my top 5 money regrets in my 40s as I look back on my life and financial journey, as well as some tips on how to overcome feelings of regret. Hello everyone, I'm Kimberly. If you are a subscriber, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I hope that you find this content helpful, and I would love for you to drop a key emoji in the comments to let me know that you are new to the channel. On this channel, we talk about ways to unlock your financial freedom by incorporating planning, productivity, and personal finance into your daily routine to level up your life so that you can live a life that you deserve. Now, there is no better way to reflect on your financial journey, achievements, and regrets than to grab one of my hardcover diaries available right now on Amazon so that you can write down your thoughts no matter what age group you are in. Now, let's jump into the content and talk about my first regret. And I know a lot of you are going to relate to this one. I am currently in my 40s, and looking back, my first regret definitely has to be credit card debt. And by the way, if you haven't watched my video on how I got out of $30,000 in credit card debt, go back and watch it. I will link it below, and I'll try to link it in the cards above. But credit card debt is frustrating at any age. But in your 40s, you really start to realize how much of a problem it really is, because by this time, you most likely have a mortgage to pay, maybe college tuition for your kids, and maybe even aging parents that you have to take care of. Now, you have to come up with a strategy to accelerate your recovery by cutting spending, reducing debt, and building savings all at the same time. So before building real wealth, you have to focus on becoming debt-free to relieve the pressure of those debts. So credit card debt was a huge regret for me because it was such a heavy weight and I was carrying because I couldn't recover. I was spending, paying the minimum payment each month, and then doing more spending. And this is what I like to call living credit card to credit card instead of paycheck to paycheck. And don't forget to stick around to the end, because I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to overcome some of these regrets. Now let's take a look at my second regret, which is borrowing. It wasn't until I almost reached 40 when I realized I truly overextended myself in borrowing large sums of money. Now I'm specifically talking about student loans in order to simply get an education. Now, even though I do have 3 degrees, I now often ask myself, could I have gone about this in a different way? At the time, this was the only way that I knew. I definitely didn't have parents that could afford to send me to college, and I don't even think I heard the words scholarship or grant used by my parents or even in school, as far as I can remember. So this is a regret for me because it has definitely left me in a financial hole as time and interest has built up. And I know there are so many millions of other people that are in the same situation. Because I'm an educator, I have recently started the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, but there are still payments to be made once the student loan pause is no longer in effect. So this is definitely my number 2 regret that I have so far in my 40s. Now let's take a look at my third regret. Now, even though I currently have a budget, my third regret in my 40s is not having a budget, in my 20s and in my early 30s, okay? So budgeting is all about the future, ensuring that you are spending enough to enjoy yourself and to live well, but not so much that your cash supply dries up before you retire, right? So I found out as I've gotten older that the lifestyle that I had in the past was just not sustainable. So creating an effective budget and sticking to it is definitely a challenge, but it's also the key to financial freedom. So if you are watching and you do not have a budget, you guys, I cannot stress enough how you need a budget. So no matter if you're in your 40s, 50s, whatever, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and start your budget right now, because this is the starting place. This is where you're going to be able to look and see what you are spending and where can you cut back and what can you change, so that you can free up that money so that you can start saving and building for your future. So create that budget. This is definitely my regret number 3. So let's take a look at my 4th regret, which is simply not saving enough or any money from my paycheck, because at one point I wasn't saving anything. And even when I started saving, I wasn't saving enough, and I would save and then spend it, the next day, the next week, right? I didn't have anything set up for automatic withdrawals into my savings account. I didn't have a savings plan. I didn't have a savings goal. I wasn't saving for retirement. I wasn't investing. So all of these things I wasn't doing before as far as saving. So this is definitely my regret number 4. And as I've gotten older, I've learned about how compound interest works, understanding that the earlier you start investing, the better. And I could have a lot more money tucked away for retirement at this point had I started earlier. Same thing goes with my son. I regret not saving for his future early on, because now he's 15, almost 16, because it truly makes a difference when you start early. So if you're watching right now and you have children, start saving for them right now. And even for yourself, it's not too late. I am currently 42. Well, I'll be 42 at the end of the month, and I only started this journey in 2018. So you can definitely start right now, no matter what age you are. My 5th regret is ignoring my credit card score, or my credit score, I should say. And I don't even know that I want to say I ignored it. I think I just didn't realize the importance of a credit score. So it's easy to ignore your credit card score or your credit score, since it doesn't have an impact on your day-to-day life. Until you are trying to make a big financial move, such as buying a car or buying a house, or even applying for a credit card. But more doors are going to open for you and to those of you who have a higher credit score. So I encourage you to focus on pushing your credit score over 800, which is one of my goals. It's been my goal for a while, and I'm close to that, but I'm not quite there. And I never knew the importance of a credit card score until I started my financial freedom journey. Then I ended up getting a business education certification, which is something that kind of fell into my lap. I didn't go out seeking this new certification, but I have it. And now I have such a love for finance and budgeting and planning and routines. So one thing I would suggest is that you simply learn more about personal finance, because y'all, I'm telling you, it really impacts and changes your life. It changes the way you think. And I just think personal finance is key. It really is. Personal finance, planning, routines is key, right? So this is my 5th regret. And now I want to move on to my final regret, number 6, which is not monetizing my skills. Yes, so this is number 6. I think for me, I wasn't sure what my skills were. And for a long time, I wondered, is this a skill that someone would want to purchase, want to spend money on? So I think we should all think about what skills we have, because everybody has a skill, everybody has gifts and talents. It's just a matter of figuring out what it is and whether or not or how you can monetize off of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. So think about writing down the things that you are really good at, the things that your friends say that you are good at, the things that you love, okay? I regret not chasing my dreams and not just sitting down and thinking about, my dreams in detail, having multiple dreams, extending my dreams, So although I love my career in education, I do have other goals and other dreams. And too often people settle for careers that they don't love, trading time for dollars, and we neglect our true gifts and values early in life. And many times it's simply to please others. So for me, I want my skills and my talents to one day be my $1 million business, right? So, and that's what I want for you guys as well. So really dig deep and think about what skills you have that you can monetize off of. Speaking of which, you guys, check out my website, edupreneurdiaries.com, and go ahead and make a purchase. Also, I will be having 2 different discounts going on for my birthday. So September 28th, 29th, and 30th, I'm doing a 3-day sale on my website. All right. So now let's talk about some tips to overcome these regrets. So how can you overcome them? So I'm going to talk about 4 tips. Nope, I have 5 tips to overcome regret. Okay. So the first one that I recommend is to identify the source of the regret. Okay. So if it's a financial regret, then a budget can help you find sources of increased spending. Okay, y'all gonna always hear me go back to the budget. So I want you to check out my budget trackers available now on my website. This is going to help you get started creating a budget so that you can find the source of your increased spending. My tip number 2 is don't ignore it. So if you have financial regrets, you have to address the underlying problem. So the faster you have a plan, the easier it's going to be for you to move on. Now, again, I got to go to my website. You guys check out my hardcover diaries, because this is going to help you write down a plan of action to address these underlying problems, okay? My 3rd tip is to simply tell someone. And if you don't want to tell someone, then go ahead and write it down, right? So we all have financial regrets, and we process them differently. So talking about money sometimes can be seen as taboo, but if you don't talk about it, like I said earlier, get some paper, get my diary, write about it, okay? Put those thoughts on paper. My 4th tip to overcome regret is to do the best that you absolutely can. Remember that those around you may have different circumstances, so it may not be fair to compare yourself to them. So you want to focus on doing your best for your given situation. Don't worry about anyone else. And then my last tip to overcome regret is simply to set achievable financial goals. When you are setting your financial goals for yourself, it's a good idea to make them ambitious, but you don't want them to be so ambitious that you can't achieve them. So break your big goals into small goals so that you can see yourself hitting them regularly. And think about setting up automatic transfers whenever you get any income coming in. Okay, so these are my 6 money regrets, and these are my 5 tips to overcome regrets. All right, so if you're ready right now to overcome any financial regrets that you may have, go ahead and comment below, "I'm ready," okay, so that you can get started today. And if you are loving this content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time Edupreneur Diaries posts a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I encourage you all to start this journey today, financial freedom. Before you go, don't forget to check the description below so that you can download my updated bill tracker. This is a freebie. It's a digital download that you can print right now today.